Welcome to the SHIELD database. Please enter your access code. Welcome, Agent. The history of the group known as the Hand is incredibly inconsistent. Some accounts claim that it was originally founded by a group known as the Sickly Ones over 4 billion years ago to serve a demonic beast. Other, more believable accounts however place its origins in the year 1575. This account claims that the group originally had much more honorable intentions however and was later corrupted. Whatever the case, the Hand is now an unstoppable force which is able to somehow be a covert organization whilst also having thousands of members. The beast that they worship is indeed real and grants them the ability to resurrect, ensuring that the Hand's numbers will never dwindle and will only get greater. Here is a list of some of the more exceptional members of the Hand. Izo was one of the first men to be recruited by the Hand by its founder, Kagenobu Yoshioka. After joining he blinded himself so as to better see the world through the use of a radar sense. During Izo's tenure with the group, they were known for doing good and honorable work, but after the death of their leader, they grew much darker and more corrupt. Izo, seeing what the Hand was going to become, defected and founded a rival group known as the Chaste, with the goal of ending the Hand. Despite being their leader however, Izo was eventually exiled from the Chaste due to his excessive drinking and gambling and his general lack of discipline. After the Hand's leader was revealed to be a Skrull, the group became chaotic and reckless. Their presence was made felt in New York and Izo entered the life of Matt Murdock in order to restore order. This eventually led to Matt being possessed by the beast however, and Izo played a major part in exorcising the demon and scattering the Hand before disappearing himself. Matsu'o Tsurayaba was a Hand assassin who was tasked with killing a rival organization's assassin. His target was named Kwanin and unfortunately she happened to be the woman Tsurayaba loved. He endeavored to kill her regardless to prove his commitment to the Hand, but before being given the chance, she fell from a cliff and died. He was able to use hand magic to restore her body and the abilities of the X-Man Psylocke to restore the mind. His quest for love led to him resolving to be a better person, but that was a promise he could not keep and his masochistic streak eventually proved to be his undoing as, after killing the woman Wolverine loved, the X-Man promised to find him every year on the anniversary of her death and cut off a piece of him. Wolverine kept this promise and after a number of years Tsurayaba, now more machine than man, begged for Psylocke to kill him out of mercy. A wish she willingly granted. Supposedly active for over 1,000 years, the Nail is a splinter group of the Hand consisting of only a small handful of women. The group consists mainly of descendants of the original 4 members and acts as a strike force, being sent in when both discretion and force is necessary. Azumi Ozawa revived the group in modern times, but her team was dispatched of one by the Hand's enemies. When Daredevil led the Hand, he recruited Ozawa's daughter and his former ally Colleen Wing to lead a new version of the team. However, as Daredevil grew darker and more corrupt, she began to realize that rather than him turning the Hand to the side of good, they were instead turning him to evil. She promptly abandoned the team and her role as leader was taken over by Black Lotus. The woman who would go on to be known as Lady Bullseye is believed to have been born Maki Matsumoto. However, like almost everything else about her, this is unconfirmed. We do know that she was inspired to become an assassin after being inadvertently saved from life as a sex slave by Bullseye, who murdered her captors. She spent many years training and donned a costume inspired by him. She eventually discovered and joined the Hand, quickly rising through their ranks. Her goal was to entice Daredevil into becoming the Hand's leader. However, when he eventually relented, one of his first acts was to permanently banish her from the organization. From there she joined forces with the Kingpin, filling in the original Bullseye's role as his #1 assassin before going on to resurrect her hero in a ritual which left him alive but paralyzed. She would then, for a time, prove her devotion to Bullseye by carrying out his schemes until he once again regained the use of his body. Tommy Shishido is a mutant with a number of incredible abilities. He is able to turn people to stone by making eye contact with them and has superhuman intelligence, an intelligence which caused him to attempt suicide multiple times as a child. After leading a mutant terrorist organization called the Dawn of the White Light in his teenage years, he sought out the Hand and subsequently murdered his entire family to prove his ruthlessness to them. When his dedication was still in question, Shishido killed himself knowing that they were capable of resurrecting him if they felt him worthy. This gamble paid off and Gorgon eventually became one of the Hand's high priests as well as joining the terrorist organization Hydra and becoming a part of their high council. Though he still retains these positions, he has in the past been granted even more power as he has also formerly been the unquestioned leader of both groups. This is a unique achievement which cements him as one of the most deadly and disciplined men on the planet. Virtually nothing at all is known about Kirigi. He stands at a towering 7 foot tall and, when active, was considered by those both in and outside of the Hand to be their single greatest warrior. He existed in Japan hundreds of years ago and was feared by all in his time, effectively becoming the boogeyman of ancient Japan. When Elektra and Daredevil began working against the organization, the Hand felt as though their only recourse was to revive their former brother so that he could destroy them. Though possessing no superhuman abilities, Kirigi was able to survive being impaled by Elektra's sword and continued to pursue her after minimal recuperation. He barely noticed being ran over with a truck, set on fire or stabbed in the chest with Sai and would only finally die when his head was removed from his body. This did not quite spell the end for Kirigi, however, as the Hand quickly revived him and dispatched him once again, but he was once again defeated. This second failure proved to be his last, however, as the chase would destroy his body so that they would never again have to face off against the Hand's deadliest soldier. Kagenobu Yoshioka is believed to be the founder of the Hand. He lived in feudal Japan and in the year 1575 he killed a man who was threatening his mother. From there he was sent to the Ishiyama school where he was trained as a samurai. He used his new talents to form a secret society which opposed the government and fought against corruption and injustice. However, as the Hand's membership grew, it became harder to control and various sects began straying from the code Yoshioka had set out. Eventually Yoshioka fell in love with a woman who those under his command believed would be a corrupting influence on the organization, and when an attempt was made on her life, the samurai stood by her side and battled his brothers, dying by their hand. Soon after, Kagenobu became the first person to be resurrected by the Hand as their loyal, unquestioning servant. For many years the Hand unsuccessfully courted Daredevil, hoping they could make their greatest enemy an ally. Eventually they offered him the position of leader of the entire group. Upon refusal they took their offer to Wilson Fisk and, after hearing of this, Daredevil interrupted his initiation and offered to lead them to prevent Fisk from obtaining that sort of power. Though he hoped to heal the Hand from within, he soon found himself compromised and in an act of pure rage, murdered his longtime nemesis Bullseye. This act was what the Beast of the Hand needed to finally gain possession of Daredevil, however, and the demon used Matt's body to begin a ruthless attack on New York from Shadowland, the Hand's new headquarters that Matt had built in Hell's Kitchen. Though short, Matt's reign as leader of the Hand was prosperous for the group, and it eventually took the combined might of all of New York's resident vigilantes and superheroes to finally exorcise the Beast from Matt and shut the Hand down. Elektra has possibly the most interesting history with the hand. After leaving Murdoch behind and moving to Greece, Elektra was found by Stick and trained to be a warrior for the chaste. She instead however abandoned this path and joined their enemies, the Hand, going on to become one of their most skilled assassins. She eventually ended up back in New York where she reacquainted herself with Murdoch, who by now had become the masked vigilante Daredevil and whose influence looked as if it was about to convert her to the side of good before she was ultimately killed. This did not spell her end however, as she was resurrected and purified by the chaste and spent a number of years fighting to destroy the Hand before being killed and resurrected once again. This time however it was the Hand who resurrected her, and in doing so they ensured her complete obedience. Due to her immense skill she quickly rose through the ranks and became the new leader of the Hand. However, at some point she was replaced by a Skrull imposter, marking the beginning of a covert alien invasion of Earth. After the heroes of Earth fought of the alien menace, Elektra was returned to her status quo as a feared enemy of the Hand. It is unknown how old the demon known as the Beast actually is, but it is believed that it has been around for at least as long as humanity has existed and supposedly grows more human in appearance with every passing year. Known to the Hand by many names, it has influenced them and been worshipped by them almost since their inception, and supposedly is responsible for their nihilistic dogma as well as their mystical abilities. Though it rarely gets involved in the Hand's activities in any meaningful way, there have been several instances in which it has impacted events directly. In the past, the creature has influenced the election of the President of the United States in order to start a nuclear war. It has possessed Daredevil and used his body to lead the Hand, and most recently occupied New York City with his army of Hand ninjas. Even when not involved in the Hand's plans however, the Beast's presence is always felt, as the Hand's devotion is such that any member would happily die for their master and his cause.